All right, here's a good factoid that might help you in trivia someday. The Arizona state flower is the saguaro blossom. It's a beautiful white flower that shows up in the springtime only for about 24 hours. But they do show up on different ones over a 2-month period. So if you come here in the spring, you'll see these nice flowers. And that's when it gets exciting for the birds, bees, and bats, right? The saguaro cactus is considered a keystone species. What does that mean? Well, basically say like a keystone is a critical piece of an arch. If it's missing, the arch will collapse. It is absolutely critical for these things, birds and bees and bats, to survive. They use them for nests. We'll get to that later. But also the flowers. So when the flower comes out, now the birds and bees are like, oh, sweet, pun intended, because there's some nectar in there, right? They'll go in there, get some of that yumminess, and they'll get some pollen on them, and they'll cross-pollinate. So they'll go to another saguaro flower, and some of that pollen will get in that flower, and then seeds can form. Most of those seeds never become saguaros. They actually get eaten by a lot of birds, but some of them do. Some of them make it. So there's that. Also, some fruit will form, and birds love the fruit, and people have eaten that fruit for thousands of years. There have been people here for like 12,000 years, they say, and eating that fruit is probably pretty yummy. I'd like to have some of that. One of the main issues out here in the desert is be able to survive with a lack of water, right? And the way it does it is it's able to gather a lot of water with its roots and store that water for a long time. So the root, there's one root that goes straight down like a meter, and then there are a bunch of roots that go out just below the surface, something like 30 meters out. So it's got a lot of coverage that it can get water. These things can soak up a lot of water. Inside, there's some spongy material. And you can see these pleats on the outside. There's a pleat, and they can open up and stretch out like that, like an accordion, like they say, in order to get a little water. And yeah, they can store so much water that they can get a lot of weight. These things can weigh up to like 6 tons, 12,000 pounds. Each arm, hundreds of pounds.